YouTube friends, Ashley here with Crazy Brave Homeschool. Happy summer. I hope everyone is having a great one. I know that this video won't be for everyone because we are year-round homeschoolers. This is our first attempt at doing a year-round homeschool, and I'm excited to kind of go through what we're up to this summer and how it's going. A couple things I'm going to be hitting are some festival learning guides that I've gotten from Etsy. I'm going to give you guys a quick flip through on that. I'm going to go over how our Treehouse Schoolhouse summer nature study is going so far. I'm going to be hitting a couple of read aloud chapter books that we've done, and what we're doing for some other enrichment, and then how math and reading are going. So that means that for our summer homeschool, we are doing language arts, math, nature study, and other enrichment. Okay, so let's talk about language arts. This has been a big focus for us this year, and probably the main driving factor behind doing year-round homeschooling. We took reading lessons pretty slow with my daughter. We didn't do much of it in kindergarten, so first grade was all about really getting into the sounds and the blending and the phonics of it all. So we are doing reading lessons pretty much 5 days a week, and that includes a few different things. So the core of it has been teach your child how to read in 100 easy lessons. I sort of messed up on phonics this year, and I don't want to get too into it. But I chose a program that really wasn't going well, so towards the end of the year, we switched things up, and we are only about a quarter of the way through this, but it's going really well. She doesn't love it. She doesn't love reading because it's difficult. It's difficult for her. But I'll do a review of this sometime once we get towards the end, but so far it's going really well, and she is now reading, which is very exciting. She's not reading much on her own, but she's reading out of this. When I say she's not reading on her own, she's not like picking up books and doing that yet, but her reading lessons are going really well. So in addition to that, I do have our Explode the Code. I don't really care about this. I like just throwing this in there 1 day a week. So we do this 4 days a week, and then just to change things up to give her a break, we do a page or two out of Explode the Code. And she's only like a third of the way through this, and we've been doing it since January. So I don't know. I think she just sort of enjoys the change. So we'll keep doing this while it's working. Also for language arts, we have had a lot of fun with the HearthMagic guide. She has a shop on Etsy. This is her Glad Midsummer, a celebration of Scandinavian summertime. This has been really fun. I'm going to do a flip through of this. You will see in the flip through that there's quite a bit that we did skip, but when I say this has been fun, it has been because of the books. So Pippi Longstocking is my daughter's new favorite. We have had so much fun reading these. I don't even remember the book from when I was a kid, but we were just laughing out loud, and it's really got me thinking about the book choices I made for second grade, because a lot of them are really serious. And oh my gosh, the American Girl history that we're, not done with yet, that has been so many serious books. There's not a lot of laughter. This was really fun, and it's kind of made me want to rethink my book list for next year and throw in some more silliness too, because she's still young, right? Pippi Longstocking was super fun. I skipped in this guide. They recommend Children of Noisy Village. I kind of flipped through it, and it seemed kind of young, but there just didn't seem to be enough there that would keep my daughter interested. So instead, because she loved this so much, I picked up, found this at a thrift store, Pippi in the South Seas. So we are about halfway through this. I'm actually really hoping to finish it in the next couple of days, because technically starting tomorrow, we are going to be on Ronia, the Robber's Daughter. Also a classic, but I have not read this, and it looks right up my daughter's alley. She's going to love, she just likes this sort of danger, excitement, adventure, rebellion, I don't know, that kind of stuff in her books. So I'm excited to get into this. We're going to read this for the next 2 weeks. And then when we are done with Ronia, the Robber's Daughter, we are going to be starting a new HearthMagic literature guide, The Secret Garden. So this is much fatter, and I'm not going to do a flip through of this yet because we haven't started it yet. So I think I'll just wait. I'm excited to dive into this, again, like very serious. So I'm really glad that we got a lot of laughs out of this. I don't know how serious this will be, but getting into some really beautiful literature with this one. So I'm really excited to do this. This should take 4 weeks. So we should be wrapping this up right around that school starts for us, which is mid-August. This might go into late August. And I was planning on reading James and the Giant Peach before our school year started, but we're going to be starting back up our American Girl history. I convinced my daughter to set it aside for the summer because I just wanted to lighten up a little bit. And we're going to be starting it back up in late August, early September. And I have found that doing American Girl books alongside chapter book read alouds is too much for us. So James and the Giant Peach might have to wait. So alongside The Secret Garden, I saw on another YouTuber who I love, a little glam, a lot of mom. I have watched her videos probably twice through. I started watching her like over a year ago, and she has so much beautiful content. She's very self-led in her learning philosophies. She likes Waldorf a lot. And anyway, she did a bird unit study alongside The Secret Garden. So that has really taken off a whole plan for me. I'm going to be doing a whole video about our nature study plans next year. I did pick up the Burgess, I think it's Burgess birds, nature study from Simple Studies is the name of that company. And we are only going to be doing we're only going to be doing like 1 or 2 units out of this alongside The Secret Garden, because with the Treehouse Schoolhouse nature study, it's going to be too much. But I wanted to sprinkle this in since it goes so well with The Secret Garden. And then we're going to be coming back to this spring term of 2nd grade. And I'm going to go through all of the incredible resources that I've gotten to go along with this bird unit study. I'll do a flip through of this. So to also go along with the HearthMagic guides, she really encourages notebooking. So this was taken from a pack. I think I got a 6-pack on Amazon of these moleskin notebooks. This is 8.5 by 11. And so we actually started Charlotte's Web, and I touched on it earlier this year. She just didn't like it. And I even took her to the play and just didn't like it. So to each their own. We only got through a couple pages of that until it was done. But she loved Pippi. So I'll just show you guys real quick, little flip through here of how I do this. So I got these reading response pages from Teachers Pay Teachers. I will link them. They are wonderful for novel studies. And you can just pick and choose which ones are like age appropriate for your kid. So we did a book cover here. If you could do a new book cover for your book. From the HearthMagic guide was this printout on Nordic geography. And so we did a little bit of map work for Scandinavia. Character poster, create a poster to describe the main character in your book. So this is Pippi. This was a fun lesson, fiction or nonfiction. And then we wrote down all the ways that we knew that Pippi was a fictional book. And this was a fun lesson because then I went to our bookshelf and I collected several books and I was holding them up like, is this fiction or nonfiction? Fiction or nonfiction? And I remember that being a hard one for me to remember when I was young. So I'm glad that I've introduced that early on. We did a little bit of the flag, and then we looked at our book Maps, which is a big, beautiful geography book, great for young kids, tons of pictures. And we looked at Sweden, and she chose one of the pictures there to recreate. One of the assignments in the HearthMagic guide was to do a still life, and she chose one of her stuffies to do a still life of, her little owl. This was a scene out of the book. HearthMagic, you know, does a lot of this like hand-drawn stuff. And we printed this out and she recreated the circus scene. And that is as far as we've gotten in this. And I think that we're actually wrapping up Pippi. So maybe I'll try to make room on this cover for Ronia, the robber's daughter, so that we don't waste this notebook and that we can add all of our notebooking for Ronia in here as well. Okay, so I've already sort of mentioned it. We're doing Treehouse Schoolhouse Nature Studies Summer. I'm gonna do a quick flip through at the end of this video to kind of show you a breakdown of what that looks like. And she recommends using binders and stuff. And then I actually have another one because this is my daughter's nature binder, nature journal, and I have one for my son. So this program kind of comes with a lot, but I'll do a flip through of that. We have also begun Recorder, which has had sort of a rocky start. We were going to be doing this with our co-op, but we had like a birthday party and a summer solstice and like all these things. And then the 4th of July is this week for our co-op. So all of these like holidays kind of got in the way of us starting formal lessons. So I did start it with just my kids last week. They had their first lesson out of Oak Meadow Beginning Recorder. And my daughter loved it. I mean, my son, who's 4, he was just like doing whatever he wants. But my 6-year-old, soon to be 7, she loves her recorder, and she learned the note B, and then she learned 4 songs with just 1 note. So we are going to have our next lesson this week on the note A, and then she gets to learn a song where she plays A and B together. I did make the mistake of, so these are my husband's. I forgot that like our hands are a lot bigger than kids, so I do need to get her a smaller size, but so far this was working. Okay, and then the last thing I have is just math, and I just did like a 45-minute review of Right Start. If you are a family interested in using this program, I really encourage you to watch that review. But otherwise, we are sticking with this because I just want to be done with this book. I feel like we have been on this for, I mean, a normal amount of time, but anyway, I'm just ready for something new. So we are doing this 4 times a week this summer to just get through it and be done. And I believe we only have like, I don't know, maybe a dozen lessons left. So it's exciting. All right, so I'll show you guys this guide that I got from My Seasonal Treasury on Etsy. It's a summer festival guide. We haven't dove into this too much, but I'll just show you guys kind of a quick little flip through of what is included in this. So a little bit of a background. She goes into the summer rhythm. I did cut this out. It comes on a printable that you want to print out on cardstock. So you can see ours here. I put this up in our schoolroom and just wrote out all of our rhythms. So some of the things that require a lot of like handiwork, we are still sort of new at in our homeschool. This looks like something that I would have a really fun time doing, but it is a little too intricate for my little ones. We have started doing, excuse my funny nail polish, we have started doing story basket telling, which I've mentioned several times in my videos, and we really love that. So this is something the kids would enjoy once that cute little puppet is made, little peg doll. This is about the star in the apple. We did a bit of that last year, but we may revisit it. This is just several different recipes. And here are more recipes. I don't know how much my kids will like smoked lavender lemonade, but we could try lavender lemonade. So there's a recipe for that. And I won't go through all these. So let's see here. There are some arts and crafts. There's a lot of this kind of thing. Making fruits and vegetables out of Play-Doh. I don't really know. My 4-year-old would really just want to mash them all up together, I think. Here's like, again, some of that handiwork, needle felted apples. I think they're a little too young for that. It comes with a game, a little garden game that you print out on cardstock. And then this is cute. So we will be doing some of this. This is a printable window transparency, and it looks like this when you're done. So it does require kite paper. That's really cute. It comes with these summer circle songs and verses. So I printed these out on cardstock, and we may use these a bit. Here are some more of the window transparencies. We're definitely going to do 2. We've never made these window stars before. And I think that it is a bit like origami, but I do think that my daughter can get into that. She'll be 7 soon. And I made one of these. It is quite simple. And there's lots of different ones that you can do. Dandelion sun catcher, really cute. So that is the summer festival guide. All right, and then I wanted to do a little flip through of the Glad Midsummer family learning guide from HearthMagic. She also has an Etsy shop, and just what an incredible store she has. She has so many wonderful resources, very much Waldorf inspired, tons of literature guides. And she even does like a membership where you can get, you pay an annual membership fee and you get full access to all of her files. And then there's like bundle deals where you can buy 6 guides at a discounted price. She has so many resources for little ones, like, circle time, songs and nursery rhymes and little puppets that you cut out, lots of story basket ideas. And she's got this great program for preschool or kindergarten, which is like learning the alphabet through fairy tales. Just an awesome store. And we're going to be getting a lot more family learning guides from her for 2nd grade. So I was excited to try one out this summer. We did a celebration of Scandinavian summertime. So this, I talked a bit about this in a past video. This included the books Pippi Longstocking, The Children of Noisy Village, and Ronia, the Robber's Daughter. Goes a bit into her background here. She gives you the Scandi Summer overview of what, just an optional way of breaking down the schedule into 4 weeks here. And so this is a really miniature guide. A lot of her literature guides are much thicker than this, but this is mostly activities. It doesn't have a lot of reading comprehension activities like some of her other ones do. We did this really cute midsummer scene with Pippi Longstocking and these kids. We skipped the Swedish crayfish party. If you've been following me for a bit, you might know that I sort of struggle with the recipes that come in these things, because I'm just not a big cook. We did a floral crown. We learned a bit about midsummer traditions in Sweden, and this came at the perfect time. We did this right around summer solstice, and we even had a summer solstice party with our co-op. And so it was really fun to read Pippi Longstocking alongside this guide and summer solstice and some other like really genuine ways that we celebrated it. It has a bunch of great QR codes for just diving deeper into that culture. We did a little artist study and a still life that we did in our literature journal. Swedish pancakes, I did do these and the kids did not like them. I kind of forgot that I am not a huge fan of Swedish pancakes either. This is pretty intricate with sewing. We're just not there yet with my kids, so we did skip this activity. Cardamom bread, we haven't done that yet, but we did this for Santa Lucia Day, which is also a Swedish holiday, last Christmas. So we have done this before. Still gonna make these cookies. This is sort of an interesting recipe. I just don't think my kids would be too into this. So this one has a lot of recipes. I like this idea. We haven't done this yet. So you listen, this is from Ronia, the robber's daughter. You listen to this wolf song, and then you create your own wolf painting inspired by the music. And this is learning about the Vikings and the runes, and then you learn how to do this runic alphabet, which is really cool. Sew a Viking tunic. I don't know, again, the sewing. I'm just not sure we're there. Make Swedish meatballs. I think my son would really like these, so I think I will attempt that. Sew a summer kerchief. So like this might be a guide that we revisit when my kids are older so that we can do, we already did this last Christmas, so I didn't think we would do it again. We might revisit this guide when my kids are a little bit older and they can enjoy a few more of those activities. So I am planning to do a proper review of Treehouse Schoolhouse once we get a few more weeks into our summer nature study. We are only entering week 5, so I think it's just still a little too soon to do a review. But I thought I would just do a real quick little flip through of this study. So, and I feel like I have done this in a previous video, but I'll just show you what 1 week is like, and I'll show you what the subjects are that we'll be studying. So they're all listed here: soil, sun, summer solstice, bodies of water, marine mammals, sharks and fish, mollusks and crustaceans, seashells, summer flowers, storms, beetles, reptiles, and landforms. So those are the summer topics that we'll be studying with our nature study. This is just the teacher's guide, and there's a lot of great information here about how to handle each component of the study, because there's a lot. There's folk songs, hand rhymes, poetry, picture study, lots of book recommendations, and then your nature study. So she goes over all these tips on how to use the program, which is fantastic. There's a material list, and then kind of a breakdown of her method of doing nature journaling, which I will show you our nature journal. I love her picture study guide questions. This is so helpful. And then here is your calendar of week by week. So right now we are on week 5, marine mammals. And so far it's going okay. But again, I'm not going to do a review. But so each week she has kind of what you're going to do broken down on one sheet, which is nice. I like how easy this is to digest. And then she gives you her fiction and nonfiction book recommendations. She has a Spotify playlist of all of her folk songs, and then she has her hand rhymes on a YouTube playlist where you can learn the hand rhyme from her and her kids. So let's just do week 2 here, the sun, and then she has a recommended schedule here. This is way more than what we do. We do the poem once or twice a week. We usually do the folk song every day. If my kids like the hand rhyme, I'll do it a couple of times. It's more so my 4-year-old that's into that. We do the picture study once a week. So like here you can see she's really breaking it down into like doing a little bit of each thing every day. And that's just, it's too much for us. The book back, so we will read one book from the, that topic each week. And then the nature, so we will do the activity that is paired with that subject. And then one day, and then we will do nature notebooking just one day. So this was make sun tea. My kids don't like tea, so we did skip that. Oh, I guess this is not a great example because there was also, we did solar printing. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I tore it out, but we did solar printing because I have solar printing paper. So that was fun. So this was celebrating summer solstice. And the activity that week was sunshine, a sunshine weaving craft. Anyway, I'm looking forward to doing an actual review of this, but that kind of gives you an idea of what the teacher's guide looks like. But then there is a whole another binder that you need to print off of these student pages. But when she says student pages, it's just printouts of, say, the song, the hand rhyme, the poem, the picture study that week. She'll sometimes give you a printout that you could print out on like cardstock and display. Sometimes there is an activity sheet, like something to fill out for the kids to do. Let me see if I can find one, because the ones that we've done I've already torn out and put in their nature notebooks. Oh, and then there's always a copy work for each week. Okay, here. So she does, you know, oftentimes each week there'll be like some sort of investigation sheet. And I'll talk more about this during my review. Some of the stuff, I don't know, isn't like super age appropriate. So this would be like, you know, an opportunity for them to fill out what they learned that week. And then why don't I show you guys the nature journal that my daughter's been working on. So she recommends that you put your nature journal in a binder. I mean, you can use anything. You can use a notebook if you want. But she recommends a binder with sleeves, like page protectors. So I've been putting in in her nature study binder her copy work. She suggests that you do it on just cardstock paper. She doesn't suggest watercolor paper, but of course you can do whatever you want. And then she recommends that you use a Sharpie to write down notes about that nature thing that you studied. We did it for the first week, and then this sort of quickly became an art, like an art study for my daughter. And I didn't want to write on her beautiful art. So this one, she didn't really care. But then she did, when we studied the sun, she did this beautiful piece. And I didn't want to write all over it, like things that she learned about the sun, like you would maybe do in a normal nature notebook. We started doing it on on a separate piece of paper. So here's our sun printing. And then again, we wrote down like what she learned about summer solstice. And this was her nature study art that she did. And then this was her about bodies of water. There was a cool activity to do all of the ocean zones, to copy them from a printout. She had fun doing that. And then we'll do a little sentence about what she learned on a separate piece of paper. Yeah, so far that is her nature notebook. And I'll talk again when I do the review how I like this setup, kind of what worked and what didn't. And then a couple other just like fun summertime things that our family loves to do. We spend a lot of time at the library, which is not unusual for a homeschool family. They always have their summer reading challenge. So we picked up these cards, and I still need to have my daughter fill out her Pippi books that we've read this summer. And then we have done berry picking 3 times this summer already. Blueberries and berries. That's a really fun thing our family likes to do. And then we live by the coast, so we have just been to the beach a ton. Our pool opened, our county pool, and then lots of creek stomping. And yeah, we are having another very relaxing summer, just like we had last year. We tend to like to not make many plans. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in for this. If you are year-round homeschoolers, leave a note in the comments about what you guys do, what subjects are your favorites, and what your family rhythm is. I'd love to hear it. And of course, as always, please like and subscribe if you are enjoying our homeschool content. Oh, and I'll be doing videos very soon about our curriculum picks and unboxings and all of that, but just not quite there. Okay, take care.